Kia ora team, and welcome back to White Cloud Edition 1 on my privately run community server. Um, I wanted to share a little something with you. So I've obviously talked about the weather conditions and the changing weather conditions, and you know, the issues associated with navigation and getting around and all the rest of it, and so on and so forth. Now here's a little hot tip. And some of it is slightly unique to this server because this is a modded server, but some of it also applies on official as well. So there's three navigational tools that you have at your disposal. There is the compass, there is the map, and there is the GPS receiver. So if you just have the map in your hand, just drop the compass. If I just have the map in my hand and I open it, I don't have a compass rose at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, so I just have a map. I could be anywhere. I know where I am, but I could be absolutely anywhere. There's no way for me to know. I don't know anything about it. I haven't got a clue, right? That's what happens if you have just the map in your hand. If you have a compass about your person, and I have just picked the compass up, so it's gone into my inventory somewhere. There it is. It's my magic leather pants. And you open the map, lo and behold, there is now a compass rose in the bottom left hand corner with an arrow pointing on it, which says that I'm looking at 15 degrees. If I turn around and I open my map, look at that, 214 degrees. So if you have a map and a compass, you can tell which direction you are facing. So that can be very handy, obviously, because you might be looking at something going, am I looking at that island or am I looking at something completely different? And with this, you can see exactly where it is. Now, if you also have a GPS receiver, and this is critically important, it must have a battery and you must actually switch it on. Once it's switched on and about your person, and you have a compass, and you have a map, and you have all three of these things together, and you open your map, lo and behold, there is a red mark on the map. That is where I am. Now the red mark doesn't appear on official. It is in the code, and you can switch it on and off. And I have switched it on because in this situation you still need the GPS receiver and the map to be able to find your location. So I'm happy with people knowing where they are. That's not. I don't need people to be experts at orienteering to play this game. And it also has your grid sector, X and Y, 137, 122. So if you know how to read maps, obviously, if you look across the top from the top left to the top right, it says 122, 23, 24, 25. You count your way across there to 137. And then you count down, because 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's your Y, 122. That, if you didn't know, if you didn't have the red dot, you would know you were somewhere in that grid square where the beginning of the name Skilisti starts. You wouldn't know exactly where it is, and it's quite a big grid square. So I don't like the GPS accuracy in that regard, because I don't feel that it's accurate enough. On PC, you might be able to zoom in a little bit tighter, but most GPSs have a greater degree of accuracy. So I'm happy with the red blob. The red blob itself, if you look at it, covers an area of approximately, I'd say, maybe that's 15 meters diameter. So I reckon that's about average for most commercial GPS that you can get just like off the shelf without going for anything too detailed. In fact, most things nowadays probably get you down to 5 meters, give or take. And we know our altitude, 32 meters above sea level. So we have a good indication. So that is the navigational technology that is at our disposal. Don't forget to switch your GPS receiver off again, because it will use juice. And unless you absolutely need to. And most vests, bags, various other bits and pieces, this one's lodged on the dry bag. Most vests, bags, something else will have a space. I think it's bags. Most bags will have a space for a GPS receiver on it, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's only a 2. It's a great navigational tool. Even if you don't have the compass, wherever my compass is, if you have the GPS receiver and the map, you're quids in with where you're going. Bearing in mind, of course, that you still need the map. Okay? That's just... Okay, well here we are, another lighthouse. This is Cap Krutoy lighthouse, and there's the castle and the sunken ship, and we swam over across the point, and there you are, and there you are, and there you are. So this is on the map Cap Krutoy. It's kind of notorious in a lot of ways, I guess. Famous, infamous, whatever. A lot of people that spawn around in this area. If you don't necessarily want to be here, climb up the lighthouse and jump off it, and get yourself a respawn, because you can obviously jump off this side and it's a long way down. It's going to make a mess of you. So yeah, so there you go. Anyway, we're over here at Cap Krutoy. There's on I Survive. There's a couple of little buildings over there, which we're going to go and have a look at. They might be a little bit different. Let's go see, shall we? So there you go. That's the modded Cap Krutoy. So everything on this side of the road, I believe, is part of the mod. Everything on this side is the original stuff. So there you go. Now I will just say one thing about the Don Sibley DayZ expansion stuff is, while it is good to run around and do all these things, I've never found any loot in these buildings. I mean, they've got fires and they've got places to snipe from windows and places to hold up and lock doors, and you can, build and all the rest of it. But I've been through them on a number of occasions and I've never found a speck of loot. So I don't think that they've populated all the loot areas. If that changes, I'll get those files and I'll update it. But I haven't seen the loot files for it, so I don't think it's coming through. So there you go. Anyway, that's Cap Krutoy as night is falling. So next for us on the list is I'm going to go all the way up the road. I'm not going to go up in the hills just yet. I'm going to go all the way up the road to, like I said, I think this is called Three Valleys, and I'll just do a quick whiz through there. So I shall stop gas bagging and get on with it while the sun is going down, shall I? And I'll wait until it's daytime and see you in Three Valleys. See you soon. Well, there you go. That's Three Valleys. It's not very big. In fact, it's very, very small. But if you carry on up this road past the farm, there's a couple of other little farmhouses, and you go up a little bit further, and there's a couple of farmhouses and a water pump, and then up a little bit further, and there's some more houses. But I'm not gonna go and do that. We're gonna go back to the main coast road, and we're gonna trudge on up to Solnichny. And the more eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that I have a different crossbow in much better condition than my last crossbow. And the reason that is the case is when I came out of Cap Krutoy, there is a train spawn on the road just outside Cap Krutoy, and there was pardon me, a brand pristine crossbow in there. So I dropped my less than brilliant crossbow and grabbed this very good crossbow, and now I've got a slight upgrade. So you know, which was nice. Anyway, Solnichny, here we come. Well, there you are. That is Solnichny. A few Z's in there giving me some trouble. And you can kind of follow the road as it kind of winds through these little kind of extension settlements as it heads up into the hills. But we're not going to do that. But I mean, again, you know, I didn't go into medical because I don't need anything in there. I just had a bit of a nosy and a bit of a mosey and a bit of a wander around. There's a little industrial area out the back I didn't go into, which has a single room. Well, not a single room, but a single barracks, I guess, is what you would call it, which occasionally spawns some military type stuff like boots and pants and various other bits and pieces, and that's out the back if that's your kind of thing. It's not my kind of thing, because I'm good. So yeah, so that's Solnichny. Yeah, a little bit different than what you're used to, I expect. Burned out building, quite a lot of bushes and trees, overgrown nature, that kind of thing. Keeping in mind the kind of the expansion mod kind of gestalt of being overgrown, and several years since the onset of the infection and since people moved on. So after this, it is up the road to Nizhneye, and nighttime is fast approaching. So again, I will shimmy myself on up the road towards Nizhneye, and I will call you in when I get there, but probably morning. I'll probably hang about till morning because it's not great viewing in the dark. You can't really see very far. You just see the as far as the head torch goes, or whatever I'm ultimately using as a light source. I still no pot or a frying pan. I'm really not happy about that. What's that? A range finder. Don't need a range finder right now. Yeah, I'm not super happy about the fact that I have not found a pot, or I have not found a frying pan. And these gas prices, I mean, 31.59 whatevers. I mean, are you kidding me? I remember when it was below 20. Anyway, there's a whole sort of like industrial complex out here outside Solnichny, and I mean, I've never really found a lot in it, to be fair. There's like a little building over there, and there's a whole lot of industrial stuff, which is fine to run through, and everything else. But I've never really found anything great loot-wise there. I mean, I guess if you're going to build a base, you can like build bases up on top there. But I might do like a base building season series, where I run around some of the more famous structures and say, here's where you could build a base. Here's how you do build a base. Bearing in mind it takes an awful lot of resources to get to the stage where you actually can build a base, because you need a lot of axes, a lot of nails, which is, we found out on Livonia, are not light. It's like one box of nails is like 3 kgs. They're heavy suckers. They really do slow you down. But maybe you're after some industrial-esque kind of things. Gloves, maybe, is good in an industrial-esque setting. Zeds is good in industrial. And oh, sorry, it looks good wherever it is. What else would you find in industrial setting? Not sure off the top of my head. Tools. You might find crowbars, things. There's quite a few Zeds through there, I don't mind saying. And a lot of those industrial things look great, but there's not actually very much loot in them. And some of them you can't even get on top of, do anything with. On those you can get on top of, but there's largely not a lot there. So anyway, past the dried out stream bed. That is Solnichny. That is the industrial outside of Solnichny. This is the little military roadblock outside of Solnichny, which again doesn't really have a lot. Just got some vehicles, just got some Hummers, just got some bits and pieces. Pots? I don't know. I've never found a pot in a Hummer. I don't know if I've ever found a pot in a car either. A scope, combat sights. I don't know if that'll do what I want it to do. Yeah, okay, so there you go. I waffle on enough. A tomato. Is it dried? It's properly dried. I can eat that. I can eat a properly dried tomato. Always eat the perishables. Right, so there you are, Nizhneye, up the road. We've left Solnichny behind. A nice place to visit. Hey, buddy! Your best friend's friend now in cans. Your best friend's friend now in cans? Like the dog's friend is in a can? I don't understand that. I don't know if I want to. Nizhneye next. I'll see you soon. Alright, well here we are at Nizhneye. It doesn't look like it should be pronounced Nizhneye, but this is Nizhneye. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Well, there you go. That's Nizhneye, really. Still no cooking pot. Still no frying pan. But that was a pretty good haul, actually. I mean, if you're starting off fresh, I picked up kind of 2 cans of Fronta. I picked up some chips. I picked up some milk off an infected, powdered milk off an infected, and so on and so forth. So a lot of this stuff is life and death stuff, and it'll see you through to the next water stop, right, or the next food stop. So yeah, not bad, isn't it? It's got that fruit orchard. I mean, if you hang around and you can be bothered, it's quite a large fruit orchard. Then fruit spawns sort of about every 15 minutes. So you'd have to wait around for a bit, but you can wait around for a bit, and if it's absolutely desperately on your list of things that you absolutely need to do. I'm getting a bit chocker with stuff at the minute, and this is not uncommon when you start out and you start gathering a whole load of stuff. If it's consumable food, I'd say and drink, just get rid of it as much as you can, because it does take up space. Ammo and batteries and stuff, it looks like it takes up space, but it's only taking up 1. What's really struggling with me is I've got this fishing rod, which takes up 10. I've got this, which takes up 12, which is fine because it's a great go-to for cooking if you can get a pot for it to go on. I've got a hatchet, which takes up quite a bit, but it is very, very handy. I mean, I could almost say, and you see, when I find a sewing kit, I replace it. I don't tend to hoard it. I tend to get rid of the used one and pick up the better one. We got a few more batteries, but they're only ones. We got a lot of food, which is fine. I picked up a rope and I picked up an epoxy. Epoxy only takes up 2, and it's very good for repairing the bow if the bow gets damaged. The fish are taking up a lot of space. I picked up a can of sardines, which takes up a 2. So I've got things taking up space. I can't really consolidate. A lot of it is fairly essential stuff. At this stage of the game, the fishing rod, for example, once I get inland a bit more, I can probably get rid of it. And I'd like to have like a decent rifle. You can't really, we'll walk and talk. You can't really take down a large deer with a single crossbow quietly. And the reason I say quietly is if you're near a town and you're using a large caliber weapon without some kind of suppression system, it often pulls the infected in. That said, I could probably ditch the rod, because I can probably get enough food now to save me. Now, Berezino, it says you follow that road, but you can go into Berezino following the coast road as well. You can see that there's a sort of a quarry-esque kind of a place there. It's got a couple of industrial buildings in it and stuff. I'm not gonna go and do the quarry. If it's something you want to do, go for it. It's certainly got some hardware in there in terms of the possibility of this and that, and pliers and whatnot, but wire and stuff. But it's not on my list of priorities. So right now, what we're going to do is going to head up the coast, and I'll do a quick whiz through Berezino again, and we'll be spat out on the other side of Berezino, and I'll see you then. See you soon. Well, there you go. There's Berezino. Few trains in Berezino at the minute, and a few things in trains. What you got there? You got a tent in there. Look at that. Gotta get yourself a medium-sized tent in there. I've never seen a pot or a frying pan spawn in here, which is why I haven't been really checking them. And I'm not really checking them now. I'm gonna stop because I'm just gonna stop. So yeah, so there you go. That's Berezino. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to show you every square inch of Berezino. I probably should explain by saying that Berezino can be accessed from the coast. That's true, it can, and from Nizhneye. But if you follow the main road up, there's a second part to Berezino. It's really 3 parts. I suppose this bit up here has a police station and medical, as well. And I think it is. Yeah, it's up here. There's like a little medical, military tent outside the medical as well, which you know, is what it is. And there's water up there, and there is another bit down here which is houses and I want to say a school, I think. Maybe, and a few other bits and pieces, and there's water there, and then there's sort of this bit which is more sort of industrialized and port-esque, but it does have a medical, and it does have police, and it does have its own water. So I mean, it's not a bad little place in terms of all of the coastal towns you could go to. Berezino, if you spawn anywhere near Berezino, it's worth a try. There's a lot of possible loot possibilities. There's the let's call it the hunting store, the dairy, whatever you want to call it, up there. There's one there. There's not one down here, but you've got there's 2 stores there. One of them will be hunting, and one of them will be supermarket, I think. And you've got a fire station, you've got 2 medicals, you've got 2 police stations, you got 3 choices of water, you got a whole load of buildings, some of them apartment blocks, some of them standalones, got a whole load of sheds, a whole load of bits and pieces and all the rest of it, and possibility for a whole load of train spawns, apparently at least 3. I think we ran across. So yeah, so not a bad place. And if you run up into the hills, there's a camp up there, and there's Chelm, which is another small town. There's not a heck of a lot in Chelm, to be fair. So yeah, so that's it. So that's Berezino. So the next one on our list is Svetlo, and that is where we're going to draw it to a close at Svetlo. So it's a bit of a run up the coast. It's mostly a straight line. I need to stop off at some point and get myself some more bolts. I killed that chicken because I wanted some more feathers. I do need to make some more bolts. And there's Riffy over there. The ship. If you're interested in going there, and we'll go there at some point. Yeah, I used my last bolt. That woman, when she jumped the fence, I just mistimed it and missed her. And I've got some chicken food, which I can always cook and eat because I had to kill the chicken, so why waste the food? So I don't think I'm going to get a stove, or a pot, I should say, anytime soon. So I think what I will do is I will make a little outdoor fire, and I will craft up some bolts while I'm doing it, and I will cook that chicken and probably eat some to keep myself in inventory space. And I will see you all again when we get to Svetlo. Ta-ta for now. Right, here we are at Svetlo. Let's go have a look around, shall we? So there we are. There is Svetlojarsk. Yeah, I mean it's a bit misty, but we went through everywhere. I think the police department, which I think is that one down there, medical, which is that one down there, the water, which is over in that big green space, kind of over there amongst those buildings. There's obviously the train yard with the train spawn, which I didn't go down to. There's the docks, which has some dock places that I didn't go down to. I think, is there a fire? I think there. Svetlo, there isn't one in Svetlo. There isn't fire, but there is everything else. Went through the church, the main square, all of those other various bits and pieces. So that's it. Still near a pot to piss in, as they say, which is a bit annoying. I was kind of hoping by now I would have at least a pot or a frying pan, for heaven's sakes, but I clearly don't. I had to get that chicken because my last lot of feathers that I had were not in good condition. They were ruined when I stopped during the night to cook up the chicken and make a new set of bolts and things. I discovered that those feathers had been destroyed. So anyway, that is the situation. That is the coast. And that is all of the coast. That is the whole coast road, all the way from the bottom to all the way at the very top. Done for you, and you could have a look at all of the stuff that is there and all of the fun things that are happening. And I took you on a little whistle-stop tour of some of the places, from all the way down here at Kamenka, through the prison island, through Kamarovo, Balota Airfield, quick run through Cherno, and out the other side, a quick run through Electro, quick trip out to the lighthouse, a quick trip out to Skalisti, Kamishovo, the heavily modified Krutoy Cap, Three Valleys, Solnichny, which is slightly modded. Didn't really go through the industrial, but there's not a lot there really. Nizhneye, which not really had much to do with it. Berezino, nothing much done, and all the way up to Svetlo. And from here on, it is what will we be doing next. And what will we be doing next? Well, I don't know, but I will leave that for the next one. That is all for now. I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you've enjoyed a quick run up and down the coast. So if you start on the server, you will find yourself somewhere on the coast, and hopefully this little journey has helped in some small measure. There will be other things coming later on in the series that I already have plans for, which will help in a great deal more measure. But that was just a look up and down the coast and give you an idea of the kind of loot you can get and what you can kind of face and all the other kind of bits and pieces. So short of being short of some ammunition, we've got food coming out our ears, we've got blood bags, we've got chlorine, we've got water bottles, we're ready to go with stoves, we've got medical supplies, we've got food, we've got matches, we've got tets, we've got batteries, we've got everything we need to survive, at least until we get to some better equipped areas, militarily speaking. And we're good to go. And hopefully you've enjoyed some of the weather and some of the various other bits and pieces and how they all work out, and the various bits of the map. So yeah, do drop a like, do subscribe, click the bell notification so you know when the next one comes out, and I will see you all again for the next leg of our journey inland real soon. Ta-ta.
PlayStation